Mob Psycho season 3. I am so excited. I love Mob Psycho. That it is the funniest, most spontaneous show. You just don't know where it will go. It goes from serious to funny to serious, and it does it so fluidly, and it's beautiful. I love watching Mob Psycho. It is one of my favorite animes. I can easily sit back on a good nice, cool summer day and just enjoy rewatching Mob Psycho again. I have no problem when doing that. I love Mob Psycho. So not a lot happened in episode one, but still, there was a good amount of stuff. But of course, we get like the old in like somewhat of an introduction, showed some old characters that we had before. So hopefully, it's somewhat like foreshadowing, showing like we're gonna get some of those guys to come back and to be reintroduced in some other way. But some of them were pretty interesting. I like them. Some of them were not. But hopefully they come back. And come back with a bang because a lot of them were pretty funny and interesting that they came up with. And of course, the opening has to be colorful, has to be spontaneous, just popping, just blowing up. I don't know how I feel about the opening just yet, just because it just started. Usually, I'm like that with an anime after like half the season or a couple episodes. If it's really good, it'll be like 3 episodes. But half the season, then I'm like, okay, cool. I really like this opening, but the opening is pretty interesting. I like it. There's a lot going on. It's hard to keep up with, but once it slowly keeps you keep seeing it over and over again, that's when it starts to become catchy. I think the ending is a little bit better, but I can't remember. I watched it a couple days ago, and during the opening, it shows a little sneak peek of Mob, at his like question mark phase, which I really like, and I'm hoping that we get to see something pretty interesting when that happens because the last time he went he went to a level a One Punch Man versus I think his name is Gonzo. He went to that level of fighting, and I loved it. I loved it, and I hope it's another fight scene like that because it is hilarious. It was hilarious, but really fun. And then yeah, so in episode one, like they first day off rip, they're already in the office. The best scam artist himself is already back in action trying to get some money, and they deal with this cursed item or item with some curse on it, and he's touching it like it's willy nilly, like it's nothing. Like, oh, okay, yeah, like what's this item? I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. Then they're like, yeah, there's something wrong with it, and he gets so mad. Like, why didn't you tell me? It's funny because at a certain point, he's like trying to play it off as if he knows it all. He has the ability. He's basically the best and the strongest, and he's convinced these guys. But yet, when something so simple as in seeing something as if it's bad or if it's giving bad or like what's coming out of it, he is so pissed when they don't tell him. Like, why did you not tell me this? And it should be just obvious, like right there, like at that point. But they're not. It's not clicking in their head. Nothing. It's sometimes you have moments like that where like it's not adding up until you get all the information, and then it really hits you. And I think it's hit Mob at one point, but then somehow he weaseled his way out of that. But that was pretty hilarious. So they had to go and take care of that and exterminate it. And of course, this episode's talking about the career path he wants to take. We all know Mob. He likes to overthink things and just get overexcited about some things, and he freaked out, which was pretty hilarious. And all during through this episode, it just reminded me of like how much I love the art style of Mob Psycho, even though it looks cartoonish, but it works for the type of comedy and action and stuff that comes with it. It works perfectly for it. I really love it and enjoy it. And and then we get to a scene where the guy, basically someone like a shut in, but he doesn't like he's not on the computer or anime or anything. He's just a really old guy that's basically at a midlife crisis somewhere. Not even a midlife. He's like in his 50s or something. But basically everything gets ruined. And come to find out, it's really all on his own, like his own fault of talking himself into this despair. And they had to exterminate it. And what was really interesting? I realized that the his mob's boss could actually see the curse. So, and I'm like, why is he able to see it? Because they come out the house and they look up and they could see it. Like everyone else that was around in the town didn't fall asleep, but they were able to see. And I was like, okay, well, if he's able to see the curse, then at a certain from this is where I'm getting, and it could just be like this one moment thing, but from a really high level, strong, powerful, uh, 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 what do you call these spirits? I don't know, whatever they are really. But if it's like at a higher level, he might be able to see it because he's gotten Mob's power once before and had somewhat of a connection. So I think that might be a possibility if it's like a really strong, widespread curse or demon or whatever it might be. But I don't know if it I don't know if he could see the like the lower level ones that are kind of weak. But if he starts to see him, man, things are gonna go downhill for him real quick because he's gonna realize, no, 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 this is not the job for me. So that was pretty interesting. So hopefully that actually does come true and he can see him and then see how I love to see his reaction in these situations, how he just weasels his way out. It's pretty hilarious. And then eventually at the end, Mob of course resolves his issue with his career path and not knowing, which is completely fine. I mean, even in real life, people have difficulties figuring out what they want to do, and I have that issue for a good while, but you just got to keep pressing forward. So Mob kind of got himself out that slump, and was at work and was talking to his boss and says, "Yeah, gee, thanks. This really helped me out a lot," and left. But the boss sometimes, digs himself in a hole because he didn't know what kind of. Sometimes he doesn't know what kind of reaction Mob might give, and it was not the reaction he expected. And Mob got up and walked out, and that stressed him out a little bit. Like, wait a minute, did I just lose my best employee ever? I love that. It was pretty funny. So I don't think Mob quit, but I think he might end up taking a break, or he just left for that day. He didn't even think about it. But I think he might end up taking a break. But he'll come back. His boss will always get him back. Something happens. He loses his encouragement to go on or do whatever, and then his boss comes and gives him the encouragement, gives him some talking, and then he's like, "Yeah, maybe this is the place I should be." He's like, "Yep, yeah, never leave like that again." It's funny. I love the dynamic. They make a good pair. So that was a pretty interesting episode. The first one, it gave some certain information that hopefully continues on, but it could have just been like a one time thing. So if it's not, I think it'll be pretty good if that boss man is able to see other spirits and demons like that. I think he's gonna be really I don't think he'll be up for the task once he sees what Mob's been fighting, this whole time. But anytime he does face that, he straight up just, yeah, no, this is not it. He's like, this is not it. We're not supposed to be fighting this. But there's a bunch of stuff. But I didn't talk about everything in the episode, but just a little summary of what I think about it. But I'm gonna keep trying to do like each episode a week. If not, I'll probably give it like not with Mob, but every anime I watched so far this season of fall. Probably give like 2-3 episodes, and after like every 3 episodes, probably give like an update just to give like just have like a little bit more longer amount of information to talk about because just one episode there's not much, but once you get like three, then yeah, you got a good amount. But yeah, episode 1 was pretty good.